Alright, this guy's pretty exciting. This is a gallon and a third uh, white oak um, barrel that I just got. It's got the logo on there, Two City Dog Brew Company. Um, just got it put together. I'm making sure that it's watertight right now. I've rinsed it out thoroughly. Um, Once we make sure it's watertight, we'll start putting beer in it. Since I'm making 5-gallon batches, I should be able to put about a quarter of each one of the batches into this barrel and let it age additionally on oak. So see how we do with it. Here we are, it's day 6 of fermentation, and as you can see, we're getting a bubble out of here every 5 seconds. So our fermentation has really slowed down. If you get a look in there, see, you still have some whirling, a little bit of the Vorloff still rising up, but nowhere near the kind of activity we were seeing the other day. So I'm going to put the airlock on it, let all that settle down to the bottom. Once it settles down to the bottom, then I'll feed it and put this blowout tube on it again, let it boil off, and go from there. Cheers. Alright, we're on day number 8 of the Jib, an Imperial IPA. As you can see, we've got the airlock on there, bubbling once every about 5 or 6 seconds. There's not much activity inside of the carboy anymore. Most of your Croissants settled down into the tube at the bottom. So I mean, everything's pretty quiet right now. I'm going to start pitching 4 ounces of raw sugar boiled into a simple syrup with about 4 ounces of water every 4 hours for the next couple of days until I've accomplished 2 pounds of sugar in the wort, which will boost us up to about 13.8% ABV. And that's that. We'll see how things go along. Keep you posted. Cheers. Alright, so everything's settled inside of the fermenter. This is day number 8. I've made a real simple sugar with demerra, which is an unwashed cane sugar. It's got a little bit more of a molasses sort of flavor. Everything's been sanitized, including that funnel you see right there. I'm going to go ahead and put 4 ounces of sugar with 4 ounces of water. Like I said, a real simple syrup. Add that into the wort, the fermenting wort, and see what happens. Here we go. Alright, the 4 ounces of sugar and water have been added. I'm going to do that twice a day, I'm thinking, for the next several days. I'm going to put the blowout tube back on. So once that Vorloff starts rising again, we can start pumping that back into the bucket here. And yeah, cheers. Here we go. Alright, the beer is done in the primary fermenter, and we're going to go ahead and pull it out of here. I use my auto siphon right here, and I'm going to put it into this fermentation bucket and let it go for another week, dry hopping. On top of these guys, 2 ounces of Cascade whole leaf hops, and from there, a gallon and a third of it will go into this little wooden barrel here. So getting ready to put the hops inside of the bucket, and then we'll go ahead and rack the beer on top of the hops. Alright, I've got the auto siphon going here, and we're going down into the bucket of hops. I've got 2 ounces of Cascade down in there, and trying to get all the hops pretty wet. So I'll move that around a little bit as we go, as we're filling up the bucket. It looks like we've got about 4.5 gallons of water, so I'll check on it in a little bit and continue to wet the hops as it fills. Smells absolutely delicious, by the way. What I've done here is I've gone ahead and taken a sample so I can drop my hydrometer down in there. I've been feeding the beer a quarter pound of sugar every day for the last 4 days. To put an extra ounce of sugar in there, that's going to bring our ABV up to 12.3%. I'm going to check the hydrometer reading now and see about where we're at. And yeah, should be good. Cheers. Alright, looks like our auto siphon is moving along at a good clip. If we look down here at the tube, you'll notice there's a layer down here at the bottom of, I guess, basically hop material. We put 8 ounces of hop in this beer, and then we're putting additional 2 ounces of dry hop. So there's your hop layer. Then you've got your that really creamy layer on top. That's going to be most of your yeast. We're going to see if we can't harvest that for our next big ale that we brew. And we're moving along pretty good inside of here. I've soaked all the hops as it's been filling. Moved it through there. Smells absolutely delicious. Can't describe it to you. Alright, so there's the secondary fermenter all set up. It's got an airlock on there. I'm going to leave it in there for the next week or so. One of the things that I didn't mention when I was doing all this, there's our hydrometer, and this is the citric acid that I'm going to use to clean out the wooden barrel. But also, this is one step. I hadn't used the one step before in the past. It's a sanitizer. You shouldn't have to rinse it. Everything was sanitized before anything came in contact with the beer. I was thinking about using that grain bag for the hops, but I went ahead and decided otherwise. Everything is going to get sanitized tonight, and then it'll get sanitized again before we brew another beer the day of the next brew. So yeah, here we go. Secondary fermenter. Cheers. Alright, so we're working on the Imperial IPA called the Jib. The bottles have all been sanitized. I'm going to transfer the beer liquor out of the ale pail there into the carboy and try and filter it a little bit with a hop bag. Try and keep some of those hops out of the finished beer. Keep you updated. Here we go. Alright, now I've got the beer liquor coming out of the ale pail down into the carboy, where I'll go ahead and do a I'll use that to bottle at the end. I have to pinch this off. I don't really want to foam. I'm going to get that down inside of the carboy better. Alright, I got a tube down inside of the beer, so I'm not making all that oxygen anymore, which can really spoil your beer. You don't want to oxygenate your beer. So we're slowly filling up. Got some hop material inside of there. Hopefully I'll be able to keep that out during the bottling. Right then, it looks like we ended up with about 4 1/4 gallons for this recipe. I'm getting ready to bottle this. I like to use turbinado sugar for bottling. I use 3/4 of a teaspoon in 12-ounce bottles and about a teaspoon and a quarter in the 22-ounce bottles. Carbonate's perfect every time. Never had any problem with it. Put it dry right into the bottom of the bottles, rack right on top of it, and then cap it. So had our caps. They were soaking in the one step. They're drying out right now, and we're getting ready to rack these into the bottle, and I'll fill that bad boy up with a gallon also. Alright, so we're down to the last gallon of beer, and we're racking that into our Two City Dogs oak barrel here, and we're going to age that for an additional week or two, and then we'll bottle that and see how this comes out. Cheers. Alright, so here we have the 3-gallon batch of the jib. Worked out to, I think 12 growlers and an additional 10 12 ounces. There's your label, it's the jib. Right now what I'm getting ready to do is take the oak barrel right here and take out that which has been aging in the oak barrel. Everything's been sanitized and we're ready to bottle the oak aged jib. That's the color right there. It got very clear with that WP007 dry English ale yeast. It's sweet. It's got a nice alcohol to it. It's a good beer. Cheers.